Welcome back to the VC3 News Update. I am Shanette Hackshaw with the top local news stories. At the recently held press briefing by the Carnival Development Corporation, the organization's shows and marketing coordinator, Mr. Anthony Denny, indicated that the CDC is pleased with the Calypso tents this year in relation to the shows that they would have held leading up to the official start of Vincy Mass. This is on the heels of Fantastic Friday, which serves as the Calypso semi-finals, kicking off the start of Vincy Mass this Friday, June 30. During the semi-finals, 22 Calypsonians would be attempting to cop one of the 10 slots that are open for the finals of the Calypso competition, slated for Sunday, July 9.
And as we're fully much aware, things kicks off this coming Friday, Fantastic Friday, the opening event for Vincy Mass 2023. We'll be having 22 Calypsonians gracing the stage, 10 of which who will advance to the Calypso finals, based, of course, on the decision of the judges, who will quite naturally adjudicate what happens on Friday night. But just to say that coming off of the Calypso tents, and first, I know President Bennett, who's here, is certainly going to go in depth as to what transpired in the tents this year. But from a CDC standpoint, I must say that we are pretty much pleased as to the effort, first and foremost, by the tent in the organizing of the events. There was a marked improvement in 2023, and we congratulate them as far as that is concerned. We would have seen a return of the patrons, to most of the tent shows. So it certainly says to us that, Carnival and Calypso, very importantly, is back on the rise, so to speak. And we commend the three local tents, and of course Dynamite, who continue to do their due up in New York for the efforts over the years, and more so what has transpired in 2023.
The shows and marketing coordinator went on to reveal that a number of new innovations would be done this year by the Carnival Development Corporation and included in the semi-finals.
The CDC will be having some changes. One of the things that we're going to be doing is to have a change as to the look of the venue. And when you come into Carnival City on Friday night, we are going to be having some chairs placed immediately in front of the stage. There'll be a seated zone to give you that tent atmosphere, that tent feeling, so to speak. We'll also identify some drinking zones. There are going to be some drinking specials, liquor specials, beer specials, certainly for patrons who get into the park on Friday night. And there'll be some other attractions. Of course, the main attraction will be on stage. But one of the things that we are doing this year is to make sure that persons who come to our events enjoy being there, enjoy the atmosphere, and certainly when they leave, enjoy that experience so that they can share with others, to certainly give them the information to come back and be with us, of course, at our other shows.
The president of the Calypso Association, Earl Bennett, also speaking at the briefing, added that 24 Calypsonians, including the reigning Calypso monarch and the 2 guest artists, will be on display this Friday at Fantastic Friday.
Come out in your numbers, that's how I want to start. Come out in your numbers to Fantastic Friday. Because not only would Fantastic Friday be fantastic, it will be magnificent. 24 Calypsonians, 2 guest artists, and the reigning Calypso monarch. You know what that says? It says there are 27 performances.
Bennett went on to add that the Calypso tents this year have done justice to the genre. According to him, the tents put on a wonderful show and were able to attract several young individuals to the tents who served as up-and-coming Calypsonians.
But it had to start somewhere. And when did it all start before it came to Fantastic Friday? It started in the tents. And this year, as the CEO stated, the tents did justice this year. Everything was on the rise. The songs, there was an increase in patronage, and Calypso is better for it. But what struck me is the number of young persons who are involved in Calypso at this time. You had a 9-year-old Divine. I don't know, with a name like Divine and a subject like Sky, she has to go places. She sang with Upstage. You had Umai singing with Upstage. You had some other youngsters singing in the other tents. And it all goes well for Calypso because you have to replenish. So while the others will make their way one day, I don't know when they'll make their way out, because nothing lasts forever. We are confident that the youngsters are ready to take up the mantle.
Vincy Mas officially kicks off this Friday, June 30 with Fantastic Friday, which will be followed by Junior Carnival on Saturday, July 1 and Junior Panorama on Sunday, July 2. Meanwhile, the president of the Yulepan movement, Rodney Small, says that the Vilneck Junior Panorama is the ultimate family event. On Sunday, July 2, 6 bands will compete for top honors. Small also explained why there are only 6 bands in this year's junior competition.
On Sunday, July 2nd, we will host our annual Vilneck Junior Panorama competition right here in Victoria Park, commencing at 2 p.m. The Vilneck Junior Panorama Family Circle is the ultimate family event for Vincy Mas 2023, featuring 6 junior steel orchestras from both the school and community-based orchestras. Unfortunately, we've normally seen about 14 bands in the junior competition, but this year we are only seeing 6 simply because during the volcanic eruption, a lot of our schools were used as shelters, and unfortunately, some of our very own people obviously destroyed some of our instruments.
Mr. Small went on to reveal that the bands that will be taking part in the competition and the songs that they would be performing.
Bands in the competition includes Symphonics, Hands in the Air by Winston Soso, the Bishop's College Kingston, Afro-Caribbean by Black Sun, the Sino Euphonium Steel Orchestra, Coquine Jumbie by Field Marshal, the Sandy Bay Secondary To the Sky, which is an original piece from their junior Monarch, the Leaf Elite Steel Orchestra, Kentucky by Dr. Alston Beckett Sarius, and the Hennessy Starlift Steel Orchestra, the defending champions, All I Need by Hans John.
The event is being billed as a family event and has a number of attractions that cater to families. The ladies that are vying for the Miss SVG crown on October 7 will also make a special appearance at the event.
A family circle featuring an ice cream parlor, sweet treats, a photo booth, seating area, pan and paint, and an assigned photographer. A family fair featuring bouncing castles, slides, Jenga pong, face painting, and giveaways. Admission is only $15 adults and $10 children. We also will see appearances from the 2023 Miss SVG contestants and the contestants from the Miss SVG team.
And still in our local news stories, this country's Prime Minister, Dr. the Honorable Ralph Egan Saabs, is reminding Vincentians that we are in the hurricane season and that they should have all their hurricane preparedness plans in place. This country is now in a cleanup stage following the passage of Tropical Storm Breath last Thursday night into Friday morning. Speaking on NBC's face-to-face morning program yesterday, Dr. Gonsalves said we are just at the end of the first month of the season and there is still many more to go.
During this period, we have to be on our guard. We have to be very careful. We have to be prudent. We have to make sure we have our plan inside of your family. Your family plan. NEMO has done a lot of educational work on this, and the family plan will involve, and I'm not talking about family planning now with birth control. That's a different thing. I'm talking about a family plan, the family plan for a natural disaster. Yeah? So you have to prepare. That means you have to make sure you have, you listen carefully to the official information. Don't pay attention to gossip. Go to the information sources. Listen to the radio for the official voices, to my voice, to the public servants who are responsible, to NEMO, to the meteorologists, and you can go online and see the information, hear it.
The Prime Minister added that based on the preliminary damage assessment of the effects of the tropical storm, which passed over the north of the island around 11 p.m. Thursday night, the impact was largely within the northeastern as well as the northwestern communities.
15 persons are currently housed at the OEA government school as an emergency shelter. Rainfall during Tropical Storm Brett was about 3 to 6 inches. The information collected from the Met Services and CWSA indicate that the Jennings catchment received close to 6 inches of rain. And with Perseverance and South Rivers, you know where Perseverance is?
I believe so.
Behind Dixon.
Right.
Remember, we just went to Dixon with a consultation on the roads going up to the CWSA. We have 5 river crossings dealing with the bridges and the roads, and something also in Dixon itself, costing almost $20 million. Work should be starting on those next month.
That was the voice of Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves speaking on NBC's face-to-face morning program yesterday. And finally, in our local news stories, in news from the police, John Alvin Bala, a former assistant superintendent of police, has been chosen to serve as a magistrate in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. At Government House on Tuesday, June 20, Her Excellency the Governor General Dame Susan Duggan administered the oath of office to His Honor Mr. Bala. Mr. Bala, Your Honor, was a police officer with training and experience. On May 16, 2003, he enlisted in the RSVG Police Force. He had positions as a divisional commander of numerous policing divisions around the country, as well as employment in a number of departments and police stations. He was the officer in charge of the Legal Policies and Research Unit and Process Office prior to his appointment. The former senior police officer's accomplishments were praised by Commissioner of Police Mr. Colin John. While the organization has lost a fine police officer, Commissioner John believes that the country as a whole and the legal system will gain from his decisions as a magistrate. In order to guarantee that case files are properly prepared and ready for court, among other things, the LRPU acts as a liaison between the RSVG Police Force and the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution. Additionally, Mr. Bala was critical in the formulation of the RSVG's policies and legal judgments. Those are our local news stories. Continue watching on Channel 114 for regional and international news, to be followed by the VC3 Sports Updates, which you listen under.